Hi and welcome back to Maxim's Inside Track. Plenty going on in the world of dairy and the world in general. GDT flat-ish for about the third GDT in a row now, so prices still buoyant, demand still strong, and global milk flows still reasonably strongish. Our Victorian colleagues or Victorians headed back into lockdown, and some more news on that today, whether that's extended or not. So hopefully we can work through that. China announcing a 3-child policy over there, whether that stimulates population growth or, word on the street is that it may not, just with the challenges of having children and that distance of travelling to work, etc. So it'd be interesting to see how that policy plays out. China demand for dairy products up significantly. You're talking about 26% increase in April. That's all dairy products, and a chunk of that is liquid milks from the EU and also Australia, NZ. And then year to date, they're 21% up April year to date. So you're talking significant numbers, the world's largest importer of dairy. So these percentage increases are extremely significant in what we're seeing right now with buoyant dairy prices around the world, and China contributing significantly to that. Corn prices have eased a little bit and now heading back up again, so we'll have to watch that as a carbohydrate input. Logistics challenges still evident. We thought that they may start to improve. We haven't seen any signs of that yet. However, they will have to normalise at some stage, and whether that's later on this year or early next, but still some challenges around that. Australia talking about a trade deal or a dairy trade deal with the UK, so that'll be significant. That'll open up another export market for Australian dairy products, which is exciting. Starting to see Fonterra looking at their capital base and reassessing that capital base and what that looks like. Potentially milk in New Zealand starting to cap out around environmental issues, and Fonterra just looking to reassess that financing structure. On to whole milk powder now, off slightly on the GDT, still buoyant numbers, still very much a China story. Liquid milk in China is increased, but their prices are firm and their domestic consumption is extremely high. So imports are obviously key. New Zealand milk flows are good. April up 11% on a liquid basis and 2.5% year to date. So New Zealand milk is still very solid. We've seen some flooding in that Canterbury region. However, talking to some of the processors down there, it hasn't dramatically impacted production. Fortunately, it's off a very low base coming into these winter months and drying off, or whether they'll dry off the animals a little bit earlier, but certainly some impact, but not significant in the South Island on milk. So whole milk powder, yeah, I've got reasonably firmish through until new season, and then we may see a little bit of trailing off. On to skim milk powder now, solid result on the GDT, down just 0.5%, so still firmish at higher levels. There is talk of some surplus Indian skim milk powder or inventory building over there, so whether we see that come onto the market or not, there's been talk of it for a little while now, we haven't seen it, but whether that puts some pressure on supply and some downward pressure on pricing will remain to be seen. We're seeing protein prices still significant, and I think that's contributing to the strength of this skim milk powder pricing. In America, Mexican demand is still solid over there, firming and keeping supply and demand balanced. And then if you're looking to export out of the US, still facing significant logistics problems, and that could exist for a little while. So yeah, skim milk powder, seeing it reasonably balanced and potentially some easing into new Oceania season. Moving on to the fats now, butter and AMF, bit of a reduction on the GDT, down 5+% for butter. Yeah, fats I feel as though are under a little bit of pressure. If that China demand doesn't remain buoyant, these prices for the rest of the world seem high, and I think a challenge to pay. So once again, we've got that retail food service shift in America as more food service outlets open up, so that'll increase food service demand from that region. We're seeing a pretty balanced supply demand in the EU. Cream prices are solid. This market feels reasonably firmish and balanced in the EU. So yeah, I'm suspecting Oceania may drift off a little bit, then they'll start to meet at a price point in the next little while. So yeah, depending on region, a little bit softer for the moment out of Oceania. On to cheddar, mozzarella now, very balanced around the world really. You're still seeing solid food service demand in the US. Milk flows will be interesting to see what happens to them over there. They're still getting good dollars and producing significant volume of milk. Herd numbers are the highest they've been for I think many years. So we still suspect there'll be good milk flows over there. European cheese prices are very balanced. And then Oceania, as you'll see on the GDT, in a similar position. So cheese is steady as she goes at good numbers. Onto the carbohydrates now, whey and lactose. Once again, China demand significant. They're up 71% increase on last year, year to date for whey powder imports. So extremely strong, repopulating that swine herd. Protein prices, WPCs and WPIs are extremely firm and strong for the moment. I don't really see that coming off too quickly. And then lactose drifting off slightly, but some of that pharmaceutical product into infant or infant grade lactose are probably coming under a little bit of pressure as this market for infant nutrition demand eases. That concludes Maxim's Inside Track. Have a great fortnight, stay safe, and we'll catch up with you soon. Thank you.